What is dark night of the soul and how can you gracefully traverse it? So, stepping onto the spiritual path, most people at some stage or another will go through what's called a dark night of the soul. So, this is a phase where you can experience deep despair, grief, feeling lost, or questioning everything that you think you know. And it isn't a bad thing. It's more of a transition or a rite of passage. It's the hero's journey. So the hero's journey is the call to adventure. It starts out with the hero in safe territory, setting out on the path of adventure or discovery. And along that path, the hero will face many challenges, and there's usually something that's profoundly difficult that they will have to face and overcome, but ultimately will lead to great reward. So, if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, there's 12 stages. So, the first is the ordinary world, as I said, where they're in that safe territory, they're in their home, they know everything that's around them. And then there's the second phase, which is the call to adventure, to leave what they know, to leave the certainty of what they know. And then the third is the refusal of the call, the hero questioning, well, am I able for this? And then the fourth phase is meeting of the mentor, someone who will help them along the journey. The fifth is crossing the threshold. So this is entering into the new. And then the sixth is tests, allies, and enemies. And the seventh phase is approach to the innermost cave. So usually the cave holds the thing that is the treasure they're seeking. The next phase is the supreme ordeal. So you could say that this is the dark night of the soul that they have to face and push through in order to get to the other side. And then after that, the phase is reward or seizing the sword. So they come to receive their treasure. And then there's the road back. And after that is resurrection. And then finally, the 12th stage is return with the elixir. So it's the same with the spiritual call to awaken. The path starts out easy, but somewhere along the way, the journey that the spiritual seeker will face, they'll face the darkness of their own self. So this isn't something that's bad or evil. It's simply an aspect of duality. And we all have within us the dark and the light. And if we want to become fully realized in the light, we must traverse the darkness. And I'm laughing as the light comes streaming in through the window as I'm talking about this. So, how long we spend here, it really depends on the level of resistance that we put up. So the more that we resist, the longer it takes. So the more, conversely, the more we allow, the quicker the process will be. So, for example, if you're experiencing this dark night of the soul, or even a situation in your life that is bringing up painful emotions, and you might be telling yourself, things like this shouldn't be happening. You might be asking, why me? You might be thinking things like, I want this to be over, or I just want to feel better again. So these are all forms of denial or resistance to what is. And of course, as we all know, what you resist persists. So allowing, on the other hand, it's a bit like saying to yourself, even though I don't like this, I'm willing to accept it. And that acceptance can in itself bring enormous peace. You recognize that if you're willing to fully surrender to whatever you're experiencing, it can be a breakthrough moment. So, for everyone who goes through a dark night of the soul, how they experience the dark night will be different for each person. For some, it will be a deeply healing experience, although somewhat uncomfortable phase. For others, it will be a bitter fight. It will that can endure for a long time because there's so much resistance to it. There's that victim mentality of, as I was saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? And when you are in that victim mentality, of course, the process takes so much longer. The key really is surrender, acceptance. And the quicker you will pass through it once you acknowledge it and surrender to it. And surrender, it doesn't mean giving up. It's more, when I talk about surrender, it's more that form of acceptance and just recognizing, yes, this is happening and that's okay. And if you have the courage to face the darkness without resistance, the result is that immense reward. And that can come in the form of a transformation or a metamorphosis of sorts, which usually bestows then a deep inner peace. It's a spiritual awakening. So if you feel that you don't have the courage to face whatever it is you're going through, if you feel that it's just too much, you can always lean on the angels to help you through the phase that you're going through. So, some angels that you can call on, Archangel Michael is brilliant. He offers strength and protection if you ask for it. Camiel can offer courage and empowerment. Haniel is there to offer love and compassion. Cassiel can offer peace and harmony. So they're just a few of the angels that you can call on. And what I'll do is I might put a link below to a page where I'll just list off these angels, their attributes, how to call on them. So you have that to hand, because I know a lot of you ask me for the spelling of their name. So I'll put that link below. So the dark night of the soul isn't something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced. And if you're experiencing a dark night of the soul, you're already well along the path of the hero's journey that we talked about. And if you persist, if you keep going, you will undoubtedly return with the elixir. I have no doubt about that. So I hope this has helped. Have a look at the link below to download that page about the angels you can work with. And you may want to check out some of the other videos that are coming up that may be helpful for you as well. So thank you for being here. I am Sandra Ray, and I will see you very soon for another episode. Bye bye.